through to a 19th Izvestia title in December, it looked like the Soviet dominance of international ice hockey was here to stay. However, recent defeats by Sweden and Finland in warm-up matches have shown the Soviet crown may be slipping. At the front of the chasing pack are Canada, with a side stacked with NHL talent like Steve Yzerman of Detroit. Today they launched their challenge by taking on West Germany on day one of the 1990 Group A World Championships. Hello, I'm Paul Ferguson. With me is Richard Beaupre. Welcome to Freiburg, Switzerland for the first game in our daily coverage of the 1990 World Ice Hockey Championships. We'll be covering the tournament right up until the final game, so stay with us. Let's look now at the countries taking part in the competition. First of all, we have the new kids on the block. Norway, recently promoted from Pool B. A lot of talent, but can they stay with the big boys? As I said, they won Group B last year, first in '89 Four Nations Tournament, and 11th in the '88 Olympic Games. Norway have not competed in Group A since 1982. The West Germans next on the table. They came 7th last year, and they, I feel, will upset one of the big guns out there in this tournament. 7th in the World Championships in '89, 6th in the '89 European Championships, and 5th in the Izvestia tournament, 12th in the '88 Olympics. Coming up next, we have the USA still waiting for a lot of their big guns from the NHL to finish their season. They could be dangerous if they get the likes of Pat LaFontaine over there to help them out. 6th in the '89 World Championships, 7th in the '88 Olympics. They can do better, and they know it. Finland, always competitive, always a contender. Lots of good, stylish players, but do they have the strength to finish it off? 5th in the '89 World Championships, 4th in the European Championships of the same year, silver in the '88 Olympics. The Swedes, well, they should be up amongst the top 3. They're good, they're fast, and this year they're hungry. 4th in the World Championships last year. They were disappointed they didn't get a medal. The European Championships, they picked up bronze, as they did in the '88 Olympics. They won this title in 1987. Coming up next, Czechoslovakia, always a competitor. A young side, 3rd in the World Championships last year, 2nd in the European Championships last year, and 2nd in the Izvestia tournament. World champions back in 1985. Keep your eye on them. Canada, of course, a lot of good players coming over as the NHL finishes its season. 2nd last year in the World Championships, 4th, a disappointing finish for them in the Izvestia tournament, and 4th in the '88 Olympic Games. And of course, the Soviet Union, the might of the Soviet Union, but will they be the same without a lot of their big guns who for the first time find themselves in the National Hockey League? Currently holders of this title, holders of the European Championships and the Izvestia tournament. Gold in the '88 Olympics, one of the best countries for ice hockey in the world. 7 of the last 9 World Championship titles have gone to the Soviet Union. Well, Richard, quite a crowd here in Switzerland. Quite a game in store. West Germany against Canada.
Well, this should be a good one, as there's a big crowd here in attendance at Freiburg tonight. I look for an exciting end-to-end ice hockey game.
Well, let's take a look at what they've done against each other so far, Richard. The Canadians in the World Championships got off to a good start, 8-2, but they stuttered a bit in the Izvestia tournament.
Well, the Izvestia Cup, the Germans played very well, and they could have beat anybody, coming up well against Canada.
And we've had a couple of friendlies down there. The Canadians twice have come out on top, but don't write off the West Germans. They have some very, very experienced players. Let's take a look at the West German lineup. Helmut de Raaf will start between the pipes. Keep your eye on the experienced players like Harold Kreis, Udo Kiesling, Niederberger, and of course Jörg Holzmann. A lot of these guys have been around for a long time and they know what to do and when to do it. Christian Brittig, Bernhard Trunschke, and Gerhard Trunschke, two of my favorite players. Peter Dreisaitl, Kammerer, Leipzig, and of course number 23, Dieter Hagen. They can all put the puck in the net. Confident, stylish, experienced players. Watch out for West Germany. Don't write them off.
Well, the Canadians are a mixed team, and they've got NHL goaltenders in McLean and Reagan. A lot of experience there. Rick Green, who's been around the NHL for a long time, playing in Italy now. Paul Coffey, of course, a prolific star with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He'll be making his force known out there. They're strong up front as well. Canadians have come across with a lot of players like Stevie Yzerman, selected to the All-Star team last year in the World Championships. Philadelphia's Rick Tocchet, who's a brilliant forward. Mark Recchi, Murray Craven with a lot of talent. The experience of Ron Suter out there.
Well, the teams are getting set for the opening face-off. They'll be out in a minute. Join us for the first period after the break. Welcome back to Freiburg in Switzerland for the World Ice Hockey Championships. Pool A, the Canadians going up against the West Germans. Richard, the Canadians playing from left to right. Surely they should take this one. They have the NHL talent. The West Germans, as I said, don't write them off, but with the Canadians out there, they've got all this experience. They must be the favorites.
Well, they might be the favorites, but there's a lot of these guys that have just gotten off airplanes. They've just finished a really tough NHL season, and they're kind of a team that's been thrown together here. So we'll see how they can react with each other.
Well, that's an interesting point. They've just finished an 80-game schedule, and that's not counting playoff games. That's not counting preseason games, is it?
No, of course, the season is long, but as you say, big crowd here in Switzerland. This might pump them up. These guys might be well ready to put it right to the Germans if given the opportunity here. The Germans with a lot of experience.
Doug Lidster on the right defense, head manning the puck. The Canadians now trying to break down that wing. Offside is the call. The Canadians will also have to get used to this international offside. If you're over the line, they're going to blow the whistle, whereas in the NHL, if you're over the line, the referee puts up his hand and you can get back to avoid the offside call.
Well, the delayed call may or may not have any effect on them. It's just going to be the situation here with them trying to get together and crossing the lines together.
Cullen wins the draw, gets it back to Michel Petit. Petit now, a long shot, testing the goaltender from way out. The Canadians right from the start looking to put on the pressure. Holtzman backhands that, but it's not away. Canada with a man right in front, the shot, and de Raaf comes way out of his net to pounce on that as Adams and Schmidt mix it up in the corner. We're in the first few seconds of play here in the first period. Adams already experiencing international pushing and shoving in the corner.
Well, both teams may be a little bit nervous out there. They're getting friendly early. That could be a good sign.
Adams spent some time with the Devils, recently with Vancouver. Finds himself in Switzerland. Cullen trying to work it around in front. Still it's Cullen right in the slot. Adams takes a shot. Still Canada, now the West German side, relieve the pressure, jumping that all the way back. Michel Petit for Canada, head manning it all the way up to the blue line. Lovely little 1-2 there. Picking it up now is Cullen. Picked off by Brittig. Coming back, and a lot of German supporters here. That one's wide of McLean, the Vancouver goaltender, pushed away by Green. Green spent 13 years with the Montreal Canadiens. But the last season he was with Murano in Italy. An interesting little tale there. When he went over to play in Italy, they took him to an outdoor rink, and he said, well, this will be a great place to practice. But then he realized he was going to play all his home games there. Quite a different start after being in the Forum for 13 years.
Oh, most definitely. And I'm sure he saw not only that open air, but difference in the crowds as well.
Udo Kiesling couldn't get a handle on that, but the West Germans coming back now. Breaking over the blue line. Offside is the call as Andreas Niederberger stalled a bit at the blue line. And the West Germans keen to get over into the attacking zone.
Well, the Canadians have got a lot of strength out there. You can see they've got some pretty big forwards, and they're going to be trying to muscle that puck in low on the German goal.
Dave King, the coach of Canada, what will his strategy be?
Well, I'm sure at the start he's going to say, let's get the puck in the zone, let's body him up a little bit, and make it happen in front of the goal.
Brandl in the face-off for West Germany, going against Ron Sutter, a familiar name in NHL circles. That pass going nowhere at all. Sutter couldn't grab it. Holman getting over to the far side, right on the target there. Shot being pushed over. Green couldn't get a handle on it. Canada coming back now. 2 men forward, a lot of West German shirts back. Keith Acton being tied up along the boards. Still no score here in the first period.
Well, it's early yet. Both teams are going to get used to playing together here and try and make things happen by getting that puck in the zone, as we said earlier.
Steve Yzerman losing the draw there. Yzerman, of course, one of the best players ever to come out of the National Hockey League. Plays for the Detroit Red Wings. Trunchka over to the far side. The long shot steered away by McLean. Trunchka punches it back in behind the net. Going after it forward is, well, we're going to have a penalty. The Shishin went in. Michel Petit was there. And the roar coming from the crowd, they didn't like what they saw.
Well, it was definitely an elbowing penalty as Petit came in very high. Really slammed the German forward into the boards. It made a loud noise, which made the crowd react as well, but the referee saw it all the way.
26-year-old star with the New York Rangers picks up his first penalty of the tournament. And one thing they're going to have to get used to is the international refereeing. I'm not saying it's better, I'm not saying it's worse, but they let a lot of things go in the National Hockey League, don't they?
A lot of the hooking and the holding, I'm sure Dave King has said you're going to have to watch out for here on the international terms.
Well, McLean came up with a great save there. Picked up by Lidster. And the Canadians clear the zone. The power play situation for West Germany. Trunchka on the left wing, trying to set things up as the Canadians set up the box. Udo Kiesling comes in and falls and presses that against the woodwork. And we'll have a face-off.
Well, the Germans like to have Trunchka carrying that puck in. He's a man with a lot of experience, and he's a very clever forward. Once he gets it in, he wants to stay low and look for the likes of Kiesling out at the point to try and get the big shot off.
1:30 remaining in the penalty. Holtzman will do the honors for West Germany. Ron Sutter again losing the draw for Canada. Back on the attack now, the Germans with that man advantage coming down the right wing. The Canadians setting up the box. West Germany throwing it around with the shot right on McLean. And again, he gets a piece of his body on it. Shot all the way down. Tocchet, some good defensive work by him. And the West Germans now with Tocchet doing some forechecking. Schmidt getting that one forward. Holtzman now. Schmidt wants it and he gets it. Back to Holtzman. Hilger wanted that one, but he didn't get it. It went up on the right wing. Some good defensive work there by Green, who must find it a real pleasure to play indoors. Richard Green again killing off this penalty. Schmidt for West Germany. In front of his own net, the long pass just before center. Steger offside the call. And a lot of German support here. They didn't like that call at all.
No, they weren't happy, but it's nice to see the way the Germans use this ice to their advantage. They really move the puck out with long passes. The Canadians are going to have to try and close up the lanes a little bit. The Germans are very used to the international-sized ice surface, and you can see that they know how to hit that winger who's wide all the time.
Udo Kiesling playing up on the left wing. Trunchka. Cullen anxious to get in there to win this face-off. And you can see the official is talking to the two wingers, Adams and Kiesling, telling them to spread it apart. They got to be 15 feet away. Adams gets it over. Shot all the way down the ice. Still killing off this penalty. Udo Kiesling. Trunchka back on as Petit. The West Germans now. The long shot coming from Steiger. An easy one for McLean, and the Canadians now with 5 attackers coming back. Cullen, a shot wide of the target, picked up by Niederberger. Shot around, but not out, kept in by Lidster. Behind the net, the Canadians are allowed to walk right in front with Adams. So much time around that net.
Well, the Germans are going to have to plug that off as the Canadians are working it from behind the net.
A little give and go here now. Back comes Canada. Coffey dropping it back. It's right in front. The slap shot. It took a deflection. Trunchka now working his way in on the defense. There's 4 Canadians back. The Canadians playing good defensive hockey right now. Going over forward is Harold Kreis. Kreis getting it up to Trunchka. Trunchka to the far side. The shot takes a deflection. Another shot is wide of the target. Lesheshin scoops that one around. Tocchet. And that one goes into the bench with Lesheshin getting a piece of it, and we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone.
Well, as both teams change lines here, this play is starting to open up.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who that favors.
The Canadian defensemen are doing a good job of stopping the Germans right at the blue line, as if you notice, most of the West German shots are quite long, and as long as McLean can see them, he won't complain.
Quite a difference in goaltending in the NHL and in Europe. A lot of those long shots may go into the back of the net in Europe, but I doubt it very much if they can score in the NHL from beyond 60 feet. Tocchet chasing his man. Yzerman going in now. Yzerman has it behind the net. Puts it right in front. Nobody can see that. It's loose. Picked up by number 22, Lupzig. Pass over to the far side. Going after it is Brandl. Tocchet missed that one. Shot back to the German defense. Well, that was a chance for Canada. Oh, there's a giveaway. Coming right in now. 2-on-1. The shot. They score! Tocchet got it over. Yzerman put it in the net.
Beautiful goal, beautiful, as Rick Tocchet, who's a very hard-working forward on the Philadelphia Flyers, made that play happen by cutting the pass off at the blue line. Of course, once the puck is on Steve Yzerman's stick in that close, he's not too likely to make mistakes there. There you see the replay. The Germans a little sloppy getting the puck out, a nonchalant pass. Tocchet cuts it off. He's got one man beat. Goes to the backhand, moves around, just leaves it for Yzerman, who snaps it up over the goalie with no chance whatsoever. Once again, you can see a very lazy pass here by the Germans trying to get out. Tocchet, he's got one man beat, 2 men beat, cuts back, dumps it off for Stevie Yzerman.
So the Canadians draw first blood here in the first period. 1-0 the score, and they come back on the attack. That took a deflection. The shot coming from Sean Burr. Doug Lidster. Canada slowing it down. Richard Green. getting thing organized as he gives it to Lidster, pushes it through to Ron Sutter. Sutter dropping it back. Some good defensive work there by Germany, and again it's Canada behind the net, getting it right out front, stopped by the goaltender. Coming up to the 8-minute mark, Sutter pushes that one into the corner. Trunchka goes after it. A rink-wide pass going to no one at all. Green having a problem with Dieter Hagen. Hagen touches that. Green ties his man up nicely, and Burr couldn't get it away. Trunchka turns, still has it. Trunchka right in front. The shot just doesn't come. The rebound is there, and Green had difficulty with that. And McLean yelling at his defenseman to settle down and get it away from the front of the net. Sutter. Adams. Dropped back by Recchi. Picked up by Hilger now for West Germany. The crowd getting behind the West German side. Coffey bounces that off the woodwork and into the neutral zone. Schmidt for Germany, headmanning nicely. A long pass picked up. McLean comes out and cuts down the angle nicely. A good save on Hilger.
It was a nice pass fed through to him, and Hilger walked in, but McLean had the angle cut right off.
Canada now with Coffey. Coffey going in. They score! Adams will get credit for that one. It went off a West German stick. Recchi was there.
Well, on the replay, you see Paul Coffey, who's so good with the puck, moving it in. It's a bit of a sharp angle shot. More or less a pass goes off the German defenseman behind the goalie with no chance. Here you see Paul Coffey on the move. Very good with the puck. Head up, passes over to the left side. Pass is going in. The forward's trying to pass it out in front, but the German defenseman manages to get his stick in the way. DeRaff with no chance. Greg Adams makes it 2-0 for Canada.
So Canada taking 2 quick goals, and back comes the West German side. That's Brittig taking the backhand shot, but again, McLean as Cullen comes up with it. McLean comes up with a nice save. Sean Burr. Adams mixing it up in the corner. Cullen trying to do something with it. Crease giving him a hard time, and it's getting a bit sloppy along the boards. Pokorny dropping it back, the shot, and again McLean gets a pad to it. Canada back on the attack. Stevie Yzerman trying to do it alone, runs into too many white shirts, and Willman shoots it up. Taken off his stick, and back comes Canada with Yzerman taking a shot, and a great save by DeRaff, who came about 10 feet out of his net to cut down the angle.
Well, that's the brilliance of Yzerman once again. He never stopped skating out there. Lost the puck once, turned back into the zone, and ended up with it. DeRaff did well to keep that one out. I'm sure that Stevie Yzerman and Rick Tocchet are going to enjoy playing together. They very much play the similar type of game by both being very hard workers.
Well, there's confirmation of the score. 2-0 midway through the first period. A bit unlucky, the West Germans, that deflection going in behind DeRaff, but they all count, and at the end of the day, it's just another goal on the score sheet.
What chances that the Germans have had, McLean has looked very sharp on, as he's made a few really nice saves himself in this first period.
23-year-old Vancouver star, looking sharp in the initial stages of this game. An excellent crowd here in Switzerland, loving every minute of this. Morozov, the Soviet official, making sure that the linesmen patch up that ice and get any little bits and pieces that are lying out there off the surface. Now I think we're ready for the face-off. Yzerman will do the honors. Coffey wants it back to him. Tocchet couldn't get it, and that shot all the way down the ice. McLean comes out for it. Backhands that one around to Coffey, but Hagen's going to get there first. Well, nobody at all where he wanted to go. Trunchka took him out. Hagen's right in front. The goalie's down. And how did that not go in?
That was an opportunity there. It's a pure giveaway, and the Canadians were lucky.
Tocchet drops it back. Yzerman queued it up, and there was an offside on the play.
How McLean kept that one out, I don't know. I think he had help as Coffey was back there to help. The puck was behind him at one point.
Well, there must be a plastic see-through film behind him, I think, to stop that. I think the official should check this one out. Let's look at this again. Dieter Hagen on the puck.
I'm sure Hagen would like to have one more chance at this as he pulled it back, got a wrist shot off, but didn't quite get it up over McLean. It went off the back of his head, in fact, and ricocheted to the left side of the net.
Hagen gets it across, a long shot wide of the net. Green calmly pushes that one across to Leschyshyn. Leschyshyn, Tocchet, Yzerman. These guys are dangerous. Oh, and that was so nice. This time it's Yzerman to Tocchet. 3-0 the score.
Well, I just got done saying that Rick Tocchet and Steve Yzerman are going to enjoy playing together, and they certainly made that look like fun. The two of them linked up very well here. Tocchet to Yzerman. Yzerman's watching him all the way. He's got the puck on the backhand to the forehand. Looks over, very deliberately lays a pass through. Tocchet gets the puck over the glove for a nice goal. There you see it again. Yzerman is so clever with that puck. Tocchet's just bursting down that side. Defenseman cannot pick it out of the air. Tocchet does. Brilliantly puts it behind Duraff.
3-0 the score. A long shot. Pushed away at the blue line. That's right on the target. And again, McLean comes up with the save. The Germans certainly getting their chances out there.
Well, there were a couple of bodies in front of McLean on that one as well. He did well just to see the puck.
11-10 of the first period. Not a great start for West Germany. Holtzman for West Germany. Looking around to see who is where. Ron Sutter will do the honors for Canada. A lot of these players for Canada at least haven't played together before. As I said, they've just finished their season, so this will be interesting to see how well they can maintain the pressure. Keith Acton pressing that one against the woodwork. Pushed away by Holtzman. The Germans on the right wing now. Lots of space, lots of time. Flip it all the way down into the far corner. Sutter always getting there first. It's a lazy lob into the neutral zone. Schmidt for West Germany. That takes a deflection, picked up by Burr. The shot kicked away, coming from Acton. And we have a whistle on the play.
Well, look at Keith Acton, who's a very well-traveled ice hockey player. He's been traded 3 or 4 times here recently. He's been with Montreal, Minnesota, the Oilers, and he ended up this season with a Philadelphia Flyer jersey on his back. A lot of experience, Keith Acton. But look at McLean's mask there. It sort of blends in with the West German team's jerseys a little bit.
This time the penalty going to the West German side, Harold Burke. He'll be in there for 2 minutes. Power play situation there for Canada. They already lead by 3. Canada. Petit getting it over, getting it back. Oh, not a good play by Michel Petit. Lost sight of that. Coffey goes back for it. Paul Coffey, so experienced, so confident, flips that one all the way in. The breakaway. Oh! Recchi was right in there. The offside whistle blew, and he's shaking his head. He said, I don't believe that one.
Recchi, who was right through the German defense, but once again, you can see where that pass came from. Paul Coffey. Brilliant pass by Paul Coffey through to Mark Recchi. Call was made a bit late, but they played it anyways.
West Germans still with Burke in the penalty box. Trunchka wins the draw and gets it back. Niederberger flips that down into Canadian territory. Dieter Hagen will forecheck. Coffey. Michel Petit dropping it back to Adams. Adams punches that into the corner. Still, it's Canada in possession. Adams cruising out front. He wants that pass. Coffey flips that one all the way around. Canada now, as the West Germans set up this box. Coffey right in front. The shot pushed away into the corner, and Trunchka comes back now. Trunchka going against Michel Petit, trying to kill off this penalty. Is going to try to make some of it too. Udo Kiesling right in front of the goal. Held on to that puck. And the West Germans, with a man in the box, had a great scoring opportunity.
Well, Trunchka is so clever out there with the puck as he put a nice move on Michel Petit. Kiesling was breaking in to help him out. You can see the replay here. Trunchka always has his head up, very clever with the puck. Puts a little move, puts a backhand pass out to Kiesling. Didn't quite get all of it. He was tied up quite well from behind. McLean did well to keep it out, though, as the puck was bouncing around him.
Richard, it shows you the confidence, even though they're trailing by 3 goals. It shows you the confidence of the West German side to go forward when they have a man in the box.
Oh, that's right. I like this West German team. I think they've got a lot of character out there. They're a gutsy team, and they don't quit.
Dieter Hagen couldn't get onto that one, although it was golfed by the defense. Back to Lidster. Tocchet to Yzerman. You're going to hear a lot from these two. Yzerman. Lidster wants it. He's got it. Oh, Tocchet really fanned on that shot. Perfectly positioned in the slot area. Just couldn't get the handle on it. And back comes Canada. Burke back on the ice. West Germany back at full strength. Good effort by them to kill this one off. Canada, the shot right on the target. Mark Recchi. Craven eventually got the woodwork to it, but a good save by Duraff in the West German goal.
Oh, that was a quick look at Murray Craven, who's another NHLer, Philadelphia Flyers property. A lot of talent. He's got great moves out there.
29-year-old star for Dusseldorf, Helmut Duraff, having a tough time so far. A lot of the shots that have gone in, well, all 3 of them haven't been his fault. One took a nasty deflection. A couple were with Tocchet and Yzerman right on his doorstep, and it's tough to beat those two. West Germany flipping that into the neutral zone and deep into Canada territory here. Flipped up by Coffey. Sean Burr couldn't hold it. Green takes a long shot, hits a defenseman. Brittig flipping that forward to no one at all. Sean Burr punches that one back in. Acton. Sutter looking for someone to pass to, taken out of the play nicely by Harold Kreis. The official right there calling a penalty or penalties. Draisaitl mixing it up in the corner. Let's take a look at this, Richard.
Well, you see the replay. The play had broken down behind the goal. A little hooking, a little holding, a bit of a dive maybe. The referee's standing right here by the glass, and he makes the call.
Still deciding where to go with this face-off. The Canadians want it deep in West German territory. Morozov is saying, let's move it out a bit. Richard, they're still trying to sort out this penalty situation and the face-off.
Well, the 2 linesmen are running around with their heads cut off. I'm surprised the referee hasn't taken a little bit of, there he is, showing a little authority now, saying, let's go, get on with it. The face-off's here in the corner.
Bit of reluctance on the part of the West German team to put a man in the penalty box. Gerd Trunchka shadows along with Cullen out front. Dieter Hagen dropping it back. Trunchka flipping that all the way back to the defense. Udo Kiesling now for West Germany. McLean leaving it there for Michel Petit. Both teams with a man in the box. They finally sorted that out. They got the caption wrong on the Canadian player. Harold Kreis is in there for West Germany for 2 minutes. Hooking was the call on him.
Well, the referee determined that Kreis obviously was hooking, but he felt the Canadian player was holding him as well.
Niederberger. Holtzman trying to make something of it just in the Canadian zone. Nice little move by Eiserman. The break is on now. Tocchet again. Tocchet. He scores. Oh, again. Eiserman and Tocchet combined for Canada.
These two guys are having fun out there. They're really enjoying this. Tocchet with Philly, Eiserman with Detroit. They see a lot of each other from the opposite sides during the season, but they certainly aren't having trouble finding each other with the same jersey on. Tocchet with a lovely move to the backhand, puts it up high over the goaltender, just under the crossbar.
Richard, the goaltender makes a good move here. He doesn't commit himself right from the start. He's backing in, he goes with them, but look at this, right up under the crossbar.
Well, Tocchet works on those day in and day out. He's got them 80 games during the season. He's not going to make a mistake there.
The Canadians now lead by 4-0, still in the first period. Lidster flipping that in front of the net. Tocchet has got a lot of time to pick it up. Coffey back to Tocchet. Oh, intercepted by Gerd Trunchka, and back he comes. Trunchka stopped at the defense. Oh, and they score! West Germany with Steiger bringing the Germans back into this game. That came out of nothing. Perhaps the Canadians relaxing a bit too much on defense.
Well, it was a bit of a broken play as the initial shot went off a shin pad from the Canadian defense. It was Kiesling's shot originally here. Lidster's pads hit the puck. Puck takes a weird bounce. Steiger manages to come up with it, one leg well up in the air. Snaps a wrist shot behind McLean. A bit of a broken play, but the Germans will take it, trying to get themselves back into this one.
Both teams still with a man in the box here in the first period. 4-1 the score. Offside the call, and the West German supporters react accordingly.
Well, we'll see if this can lift the spirits of the German team a little.
Players getting set to come back onto the ice. Burr and Kreis, the two guys in the penalty box, and back they come. Both teams at full strength. Canada having problems along the board. Some good forechecking there by Gerd Trunchka on Michel Petit. Canada, Sutter couldn't hang on to that one. Taken over the blue line by the West German side with Gerd Trunchka all the way back deep in his own zone. A nice little pass, stringing these together as Trunchka, the tireless workhorse for West Germany, brings that across. That shot steered wide. Holtzman getting a piece of it. Canada now a shot. Sean Burr getting the woodwork to that. Green, Petit, Flipped all the way back in. The whistle blowing. We'll have a face-off, and it really is good stuff. It's wide open, as you said.
Well, the crowd certainly rose on that occasion as the Germans came up the ice. Every man on the ice touched that puck. They threw 5 or 6 passes around and looked really good coming up the ice. Nearly came up with a goal.
That's the kind of thing you have to be aware of when you're playing in the international ice hockey scene. The Canadians, when you're going for an icing call like that, they're going to take the man every time. You can't just touch that puck and get away with it, can you?
Not at all. You're always taught to take that body.
Holtzman losing out to John Cullen. Cullen now for Canada. Up on the right wing, Cullen dropping it back. Still, well, broken up at the defense nicely. Holtzman. Burke, it's off his skate. Canada. Adams can't control that. 4-1 the score here in the first period. Holtzman flipping that right in front, taken out nicely by the Canadian defenseman Richard Green. Pushed all the way back now to Pokorny. Looking around to see what he can find. Kiesling head-manning the puck. Trunchka. There are 2 Trunchkas out there, Gerd and Byrne. Canada now looking for the far winger. Trunchka now coming in, getting it forward, right in on goal, and a great save. The backhand shot hits his skate. Draisaitl was right there. McLean came out, cut down the angle, and gave him no option but to shoot it right at him. Brittig, Draisaitl. The West Germans going through a good spell here in the first period. Still, it's West Germany as we approach the final minute. The West Germans working right in. Oh, the puck is loose. Coming off Bernd Trunchka's stick. Canada now breaking with 3 men. Coffey flipping it back. Yzerman takes the shot, and Raff comes up with the save. Fantastic stuff here in the first period. 4-1 the score. Canada in the lead.
Well, a lot of good work there from Brittig and Trunchka, but I'm sure Trunchka's going to be told by the coach to shoot the puck out there, trying to be a little bit too cute. He had the move, tried to make a pass, and was into somebody's skates. He might better have taken the shot himself.
McLean playing so well between the pipes for Canada. Really has come up with some big saves here in the first period. Niederberger drops that one back, and that's flipped all the way up. Lipzig. Time running out here in the first period. Canada looking for the quick break. Tocchet. Bit of confusion there. Not a great clearance. Canada have got it right in front, and that goes off a skate. Yzerman was there. Lidster with 8 seconds. He'll hang on to it and wait for the whistle to blow. I'm sure they want to rest. There goes the buzzer to end the first period. The score for Canada: Yzerman, Adams, Tocchet, and Tocchet again. Steiger picking up 1 goal for West Germany. A wide open affair, Richard.
Oh, it most certainly was, as both teams came out moving that puck around. Look for more action to come here.
Well, a good start for Canada in front of this excellent crowd here in Freiburg in Switzerland. The first game for both teams in the Group A championships. The team's now taking a well-deserved break, 15-minute break for them. We'll have more action from the Group A championships here in Switzerland. There's the score, 4-1. Join us in a moment right after the break. Welcome back. The score: Canada 4, West Germany 1 here in the second period. A wide open affair in the first. Canada showing a lot of their class out there, a lot of their NHL experience, Richard, with Iserman and Tocchet making it look so easy.
Well, most certainly. As Rick Tocchet's a classic example. He's a man that just never stops working. Iserman, the whole lot. These guys are really out here working hard. The Germans are going to have to try and contain him a little, maybe a little hooking, holding away from the play, try and slow him up a little bit. As for the Germans, they've got to try and get in closer on that net. They've taken a lot of long shots. They've got to try and penetrate the Canadian defense.
Kiesling takes the first shot of the period on McLean. Coffey flips that one along the boards. It doesn't go anywhere at all. He picks up his own rebound and headmans it up on the right wing. Canada now. Iserman. Coffey. Tocchet. Coffey takes the shot. That takes a deflection. It's right in front. Back to the point. Coffey now leaves it for Tocchet. That one took a deflection. It's right in front of the net again. And the German defense are all in front of the net, and Trunchka eventually falls on it to smother it for a face-off. And the Canadians deliberately looking for the ricochet, looking for the rebound, keeping the shots low, not even difficult shots, looking for the deflection.
Well, you're right, but the Germans have come out here a little bit dozy in this period. They're going to have to pick it up a little. They can't be flat-footed out there.
Holtzman for West Germany. You can see the Canadians taking their time, with Cullen looking to see that everyone is in the right position and telling the official just where he wants the other center to be. And now the linesman moves them out and says we're going to do that again with two new centers. Harold Burke, Canada with Michel Petit, can't keep it in. Canada now looking to get one set up, and Adams just couldn't hold on to that. Cullen was right there. Burke drops it back, and Canada pick up a loose puck now. Adams flips it into the corner. And again, we see the goaltender Giraffe come way out of his net to pick it up.
Well, that's a good move on his part, as he wants his team to get organized. The German defense looks a bit shaky here at the start of this period. Giraffe's going to try and get some kind of control.
Cullen for Canada. An excellent crowd here, enjoying every minute of this game. Cullen just couldn't get it. The pass came over from Adams. Burke tries to take out his man. And now West Germany, well, the passes are going nowhere. As you say, it does look like they've gone to sleep in the start of this second period. They trail by 3, 4-1 is the score. Hamer, Burke being shadowed by Recchi. Burke getting it up on the wing. Holtzman flips that one in. McLean running into Burke, but puts it wisely along the boards. Canada, the pass too far for Sutter. The long shot coming from Sean Burr was right on the target, but Giraffe was always going to make the save.
Well, that was a good combination there as Recchi left that puck. Burr with the big shot. He steps over the blue line here. Drop pass from Recchi. Goalie might have been screened partially by his defenseman. Price was right there, but he managed to come up with it. The shot was right at him. There's the drop pass from Recchi. The big shot from Burr. Giraffe's got it.
Burr using Kreis as a possible screen on that play.
Oh, I think he did. Giraffe did well to stand up and get control of that one.
Forward checking there by Burr. Headman up to Trunchka. He pushes it forward. No one really wants it. Sutter is going to pick it up. Bounces that off the backboards. Sean Burr golfs it along the side, and that's going to go all the way down the ice. Touched back by Pokorny. And West Germany slow to react in their own zone. Sean Burr now misses out in the corner. Draisaitl getting it over on the wing. Trunchka into the slot. Now it's Germany. Brittig flips that behind the net, but there's no one there to pick it up, and Canada come back on the attack. Pokorny going back for it, beaten to it by Sutter. Pass into the center zone. Trunchka getting it up. Leipzig just a bit too keen to get over that blue line. Offside is the call. Xaver Unsen, the West German coach, always calm, always cool, knows that he's got a battle on his hands here.
Well, he looks like he's under control, but he's going to have to try and pump these guys up a little, get some life out there on that ice.
Face off just outside the Canadian territory. Coffey in his own zone now. Coffey gets it back, head-manning it. Good forechecking there by the West German side as they just flip it back to Coffey. Tocchet wants it, circles, but he doesn't get it. Taken out by number 22, Leipzig, and Udo Kiesling takes it all the way back behind his own net. Willman eventually picks up the puck after he passed it. Willman getting by one man, flipping it over. Brandl taken out along the play. Willman, Leipzig. Well, the West Germans now having problems controlling that puck, skating over it. Maybe there's a bit of water on the ice. Yzerman, tried to get round Niederberger, and it just didn't come off. Kiesling goes after his man. The save on Coffey's shot was there. Back to Coffey. Coffey lobs that one in. It bounces off a pad, and it's still Canada. Right in front now, the shot coming from number 24, Michel Petit, was right on the money, but Helmut de Raaf was there to make the save. Looking good, the West German goaltender.
Well, this most definitely is the danger line for Canada at the moment. Tocchet, Yzerman, they're really moving that puck around well. Petit comes in from the blue line. Can't find a corner, though, as de Raaf comes up big.
Recchi eventually picks that one up. You can hear them yelling from the bench, D. Trunchka gets it back to the D, but it goes over Michel Petit's stick. By D, of course, they mean defense. Trunchka made the pass for them. Offside is the call. Dave King giving instructions to his team. He must be happy with what has gone on in the first period and how they've looked here so far in the second.
Yeah, he can't be unhappy with the performance he's seeing out there. Dave King, of course, from Calgary, Alberta, was a bit saddened to hear that his Calgary Flames had bowed out of the NHL playoffs in overtime.
Not a good clearance there from Schmidt. Still, it's West Germany. They have to pick their heads up in this period and start getting the puck into Canada's territory. Oh, a good move there by Adams. Not contained by Canada. The long pass to Trunchka. Trunchka head-manning it nicely. Dieter Hagen from a sharp angle. The save is there. Michel Petit now for Canada. The big defenseman lobs that one all the way up to Mark Recchi, and offside is the call. If the pass originates from inside his blue line, is picked up on the other side of the red line, it's a two-line pass.
Linesman was right on that one. Crowd reacted a little bit, but to no avail.
Just over 5 minutes gone here in the second period. 4-1 to score. Canada over West Germany. You're watching Pool A here on Eurosport. World Ice Hockey Championships from Freiburg in Switzerland. Capacity crowd here, loving every minute of this game. Lescheshin, Curtis Lescheshin firing that one up on the backhand side. Burke tried to get a handle on it. And again, it's spun out down the ice into West German territory. Schmidt pops that one off the woodwork, pushed back in by Curtis Lescheshin. Checking, getting close in the West German zone. They're having problems containing this Canadian attack. Ron Sutter couldn't hang on to that as McLean comes out and touches it, flips that one along the boards. The pass went a bit astray, and West Germany now coming back on the attack. Trunchka squeezed out of the play nicely, and Craven comes back. The pass a bit too far for Sutter. Kreis, the long pass. Oh, a nice little move there by Draisaitl. Trunchka getting it over on the wing. Brittig couldn't contain it, and Coffey shot that one over to Tocchet. Tocchet looking for someone to pass to. Coffey was there, but he couldn't hang on to it. Trunchka steals the puck. Green gets it back. Trunchka now for West Germany, puts it in. The breakaway was there, but offside whistle blew.
Bernd Trunchka, Draisaitl, they play well together. Brittig is the other line mate out there. Those three guys can really move the puck around well, and they're good forecheckers. There you see the pass coming ahead here. Behind the defense. Draisaitl's got it, but he's way off sides. The idea was right though, Paul. That line is really working hard.
For those of you possibly watching for the first time, offside occurs when a puck goes over, or the puck is preceded by a player over that blue line. And on that occasion, as Kiesling takes a shot, McLean comes up with a save. The rebound is right there in front of the net, and Canada get away. On that occasion, I'll finish that off. Draisaitl was ahead of the puck over the blue line. The puck must go first. Coffey now can't get a handle on it. Push back. Too far for Craven. Tocchet. Canada let that one slip into the neutral zone. Coffey flips it to the far wing to Yzerman. Yzerman getting it back. Coffey to Yzerman. Yzerman trying to stick out through. He leaves the shot there. And Raff bats it over, but Yzerman picks it up. No one seems to be taking the body on this guy. That's how you're going to contain him. Don't go after the stick. He'll fool you all night long. Willman now for West Germany on the right wing. The shot from just inside the blue line, handled easily as Coffey picks up the loose puck. Teams changing on the fly here. Canada could make something of this. Right in front of the net. Cullen was there. It took a bounce in West Germany now. Schmidt spun out of the play. Up on the wing to Greg Adams. Adams getting it through to Recchi, and again, offside is the call.
Well, as the teams had changed on the fly, Coffey made the long pass up. Everybody was a little bit too anxious coming off that bench. Recchi was offsides.
4-1 the score here in the second period. Canada with a great start. You'll notice as we look towards the West German zone, the sun is coming through onto the ice. And Richard, what effect would that have on a player, or on a goalie for that matter?
Well, if the glare is just right, he may have trouble picking up shots from that area.
Trunchka to Steiger. Dieter Hagen will get there first. He touches that with the skate. The whistle blows. Offside is the call. Well, it seems just as I said that, the sun went back in just to prove me wrong. Cullen will stay at center for Canada. (4-1) the score. 8.5 minutes gone in the second period. Sheshin flipping it up on the boards. Oh, some nice passes there. Adams races back. Kiesling gets there first for West Germany. And the West German side with Gerd Trunchka. Trunchka. No real penetration from the white shirts out there. They were happy just to let the Canadians bring that out. Adams head manning the puck now. Canada dropping it back. Waiting for their team to get forward was Mark Recchi. A long shift out there for Adams and Recchi. Kiesling being grabbed by Adams and spun around. Keith Acton now. You can hear them yelling, Keith, Keith. That shot, a wraparound, missed the far post. Trunchka. It's starting to get physical off the play as Adams takes a shot. That's the kind of thing the Germans need to bring themselves back into this game.
Well, they're trying to change on the fly as well right now. Both teams going with fresh players.
Getting it over is Richard Green. Michel Petit fires that one off the woodwork. Going after it is Ron Sutter. Sutter squeezed out of the play by Schmidt. And eventually we have a whistle. The goal coming off its moorings. Let's take a look at this again. This was the wraparound. The shot came and just grazed the far post. Well, it's not easy being a goaltender. Not only do you have to stop pucks going about 100 miles an hour, but you have to stop players, sticks, skates, and just about everything else that comes your way.
Well, that's right. As Duraf was going back and forth, as the Canadians are still working that puck well from behind the net, Keith Acton, a very tricky little forward, almost had that wraparound.
Sutter for Canada, Sean Burr. And the West Germans, no slouches on these face-offs. They have been winning their fair share of them. And they're not taking anything from anyone out there. Michel Petit takes a shot, and Duraf takes a swing at a player as he goes front of the net. Richard Green gets that one up to Sean Burr. Sean Burr headed manning the puck nicely. Oh, the break was almost there. Acton trying to get through a sea of white shirts out there. Sutter is taken out of the play. West Germany now coming back with Green on defense. The West Germans, the shot, and a great save by McLean. Holtzman was there. He had Harold Burke on the right wing, and he decided to shoot, but McLean comes up with a save.
Once again, McLean came out far enough to take the angle away. The Germans came down in a 2-on-1 here as Petit had been caught in after losing that puck in the slot area. McLean does well to hold on here because the Canadians were coming back hard.
It's a difficult situation for everyone concerned on a 2-on-1 break. What do you do? Do you go for the pass? Do you go for the shot? Which man does the defenseman take? Does he go after the puck carrier because he thinks he's going to shoot? Does he stay in the middle?
Well, it's a 50-50 call for both the goalie and the defenseman. The goalie's got to be watching that puck. The defenseman's got to make the choice at one point whether he attacks the forward or tries to stay between him and make him take the longer shot. In that situation, Holtzman did take the longer shot. McLean was able to come up with it.
Yzerman kicks it over. Coffey flipping it up on the wing. Punched out by the West German defense. Trunchka couldn't get it. Lidster all the way down to Kreis. Kreis to Draisaitl. Spinning, looking for someone to pass to. He got away with that one. Draisaitl up on the wing. Trunchka getting it back. They're going backwards instead of going forwards. Pokorny having problems containing that puck. You've noticed that there are a few bounces from time to time. The West Germans bunching. You can see 4 players on that blue line out there. They really aren't going forward with confidence as they did in the first period. Push back behind the net for Coffey. Coffey, a nice pass up on the wing. Yzerman. Coffey. Tockett's right there. Coffey still has it. Coffey bounces it off the board to Tockett. Tockett looking good. Yzerman can't get in the play. A little grabbing and shoving out there. The Canadians still contain it with Coffey. That pass going nowhere in particular. Going back for it. Thomas Brandl for West Germany. Getting it back. West Germany now. They've got to be positive. They've got to go forward. Pushed in by Willman. Masheshin spun out of the play, but he retains possession. Adams. Adams again. A long pass into the center. Picked up now by Canada. Lesheshin pushes that one back in. Cullen now right in front into the slot area, and West Germany pick up the loose puck. Leipzig getting it over on the wing. Green flipping that one off the woodwork. Green pushing that one along the boards. A good little play by him. He was outnumbered. Cullen is brought down. No signal on the play as Niederberger leaving it. Niederberger again for West Germany. 13:03 gone here in the second period. 4-1 the score for Canada over West Germany. And everyone looks around in amazement as we take a look at Dave King's Canadians. They're playing solid, confident ice hockey out there. Trying to work out why this whistle blew. McLean, that's what he has to wear on his head to protect him from this piece of vulcanized rubber, 3 inches by 1 inch, that flies, well, anywhere upwards of 100 miles an hour. I guess a good shot would be around 80, but there are from time to time players who can put it over the 100 mark. Eventually Dieter Hagen goes into the box. The West Germans, 4 skaters, Canada with the man advantage. Talk it out there, perfectly positioned. The sunlight down on the ice. Coffey gives that one away. West Germany now. Trunchka, oh, a nice little move by him. Coffey fell and was completely out of the play, but Trunchka couldn't hang on to it. Recchi back as far as Coffey. Coffey takes a shot. That goes way, way up, and we'll have a face-off.
A look at Dieter Hagen taking a 2-minute rest there. The Canadians are a little bit sloppy at that blue line on that last play. The man that had that puck, Trunchka, is a danger man. They don't want to let him have opportunities like that.
Canadians pointing out to the officials that there's something out there on the ice. Perhaps a little crack being patted over now, and the official using the puck to smooth it down. So if you want to be an official, you have to know the rules of the game. You have to get in between players as they try to punch each other out, and you also have to be able to fix the rink when it breaks.
Oh, that's right, as it's right in a sunspot there as well. That hole may not patch up very well.
The Canadians with a power play with Yzerman. Shot all the way down, eventually by West Germany. McLean leaving that, passed up on the wing. Craven, the pass not a good one. Tocchet, Coffey, too far for him. Going back for it there is Heimer. Push back to the point to Coffey. Coffey flipping it over. Petit getting it in. Tocchet wants it. Petit. Craven. The Canadians taking a lot of time. The shot coming right in on goal from Craven, number 16, Murray Craven, perfectly positioned there. And I really don't know why the whistles are coming there. The jeers, the Canadians taking their time to set up this power play. Were the whistles because they didn't take the shot, or because the Germans weren't doing anything about it? I mean, if the Canadians are going to take their time, they're killing off the penalty. So why wouldn't the West Germans let them do it?
Well, they're trying to work it to the off slot there, as Craven got a good piece of that one, but Duraff had the angle cut right off. He tried to one-time it. It's a good shot, but Duraff got a good-sized body to get in front of that.
Pokorny flips that one as far as Petit. The Canadians put the pressure on still. Slap shot all the way down to Kirk McLean, and Coffey picks up the puck behind his own net. Flips that one forward. Canada with Coffey, a nice little move there. Coffey takes the shot. That hits a defenseman, and again West Germany get a piece of it and send it deep into Canadian territory. Petit, the pass with Cullen. He's got Adams in front of the net. Right in front now, Adams. Michel Petit brings that one out, and Dieter Hagen steps back on the ice and says, "Thank you very much." Not good play there. Two mistakes from Michel Petit. Hagen going right in, the shot. Oh, and a great save, another one. And they bang away at it, and McLean makes two great saves on the play. Well, the Canadians right at the end of that power play were caught napping. Petit gave the puck away. Two players come right in. Leipzig with Hagen.
Well, Hagen, that 2-minute rest gave him some new life, that's for sure, as Hagen walked right through the Canadian defense. McLean coming up big here as Leipzig and Hagen were both in on him. There you see Hagen, he stumbled through after making a nice move at the blue line. Leipzig is right there with him. Takes the wrist shot. McLean has got a good move on it though. Manages to come up with it and hold the rebound.
An excellent crowd here in Switzerland, enjoying this contest between Canada and West Germany. 4-1 the score. The West German side missing a golden opportunity. The shot coming from Keith Acton, pouched away, and it's still Canada. Pushed over to the far side, and Niederberger gets it as far as the blue line, and eventually it trickles out and goes all the way down to McLean. Leschetschen flips that one to the far side. Picked up nicely by Trunchka, kept in, right in front. Oh, and a good defensive move by Doug Lister. Lidster coming up with the stick out on the ice. And the Canadians now going through a phase where they really don't know where they are. The break is on here. Canada, the shot from a sharp angle from Sean Burr. And Trunchka doing a great job bringing himself back into the play. Found himself face to face with that goalpost.
Well, Gerd Trunchka, a very solid offensive threat out there. Did well to get back. Showed his defensive skill as well. Sean Burr was in on the goalie.
Well, at times, Richard, there has been a tendency for both teams to push forward and forget about the defensive play altogether. And that was one occasion there.
Well, it's a situation where you're seeing both teams, as you say, moving forward. The defensemen are stepping up. They're cutting through. They're looking to play a little offense as well.
Richard Green being shadowed by Harold Burke, getting over to the far side. The Canadians taking lots of time on this as Yzerman comes back in and starts to call for it. Green wants to give it to Yzerman and eventually makes a couple of nice moves and headmans it up to the blue line. Tocchet with Craven taken out along the boards. Schmidt doing some good defensive work right in front. Craven just couldn't get a handle on it. Flipped in front. The slap shot, or the wrist shot rather, coming from Green. Not a difficult one. Tocchet. Craven in front. They score! Yzerman again fed the pass. Craven was perfectly positioned right in front of the net. Just when it looked like they were breaking down in front of the net.
There it is, as Craven just gets the touch on it. Nicely set up play here. Craven and Tocchet, of course, play together in Philadelphia. They're out there with Steve Yzerman, and the three of them are looking good together. Murray Craven over the blue line. Move to the left, pass over to the right to Yzerman. Yzerman looks for him, feeds the pass through. Craven gets a touch on it.
5-1 the score here in the second period. Canada extending their lead as Coffey passes that over to the far side, gets a return pass and comes back on the play. No let up in the Canadians' attack. And that was a mean hit on Coffey.
Well, as Paul Coffey is down here on the ice, that's a bit unfortunate for Team Canada, as him and Cullen collided with each other right at that blue line. And he got the worst of that one. Here's Paul Coffey putting a move on. Bang, right into his own player. The two of them went down hard.
So Coffey taking that mean hit from Cullen. Accidentally, of course. Finds himself still flat out on the ice. Let's look at this again, right in the sunlight. Perhaps that affected the play. You can see the glove going way up in the air. Cullen had the advantage of being right on top.
That one glove went up at least 15 feet in the air. Those bodies were flying out there.
Well, that's the last thing you'd expect, is to run into one of your own players. That's not the kind of thing you anticipate out there. You're always aware of where your players are, or at least you hope you are, and you keep your head up for the hit for somebody else or the opposition. But on this occasion, Canada going against Canada, and Coffey coming out second best.
The Canadians certainly don't need that one, as Paul Coffey's wearing the C. He's the captain out there for Team Canada, and with his experience and his puck handling, they need him. There it is again. Cullen right over the top. He left his feet to try and avoid as much of it as he could, but he got a good piece of Coffey.
Coffey right now is being told what day it is and exactly where he is, getting a magnificent round of applause from this capacity crowd here in Switzerland. He's favoring that left cheek.
Well, he's having a word with the guy who's taking him off. Recchi, of course, his teammate at Pittsburgh. He's saying something to him, but I'm sure a lot of it is just trying to figure out who he is and where he is, as you already mentioned, Paul.
Well, he's going right to the dressing room. But he's a tough guy. I'm sure if he can, he'll be back.
Oh, without a doubt, you'll see Paul Coffey back on that ice.
One of the all-time greats in the National Hockey League. It's not the kind of thing you like to see happen to any player. 17:33 gone here in the second period. So Canada flipping it in with Richard Green. Pokorny taken out of the play. Greg Adams. Trunchka now for Germany. Could that be what the West Germans need to motivate them back into this game? They've scored one goal by Steiger in the first period, but they really haven't made the most of the few chances they've had here in the second. Mostly defensive hockey coming from West Germany. They can be very, very offensive indeed. Draisaitl having problems staying on his feet. Michel Petit getting that one up. Canada breaking with three men. Adams has got a break. Adams going in, tries to get it round the goalie. Lost control of that.
Nice move by Adams as he slipped right through the defense. He walked right in. The goalie did well to try and get out at that. Slid out with his body, and Adams really didn't have anywhere to go as he was being hooked up a little as well.
Sutter gets that one all the way around to the far side. Acting to Adams. Sutter takes a shot right on goal. Left there for Dieter Hagen of West Germany. Hagen with Trunchka now. A lot of West German support in the corner, but have they got too many men there? The Canadians keeping it in. Udo Kiesling goes after his man now and pushes him against the woodwork. Sean Burr still has possession. Burr backhands that into the corner. Acton. Sutter. Oh, good effort here. The rebound right in front of the net. Acton was right there as we come up to the final few seconds. Batted down. Sean Burr just couldn't put it in the net. 20 seconds remaining. Still time remaining for a shot. And eventually that's held. Well, how did that not go in the net? 5-1 the score. 14 seconds remaining.
Well, the Germans look like they're killing a penalty out there as Burr, Acton, Sutter, they're all over him. Burr was in front of the net on that flip pass out there. He almost made a Louisville Slugger goal out of that. Little baseball swing.
Richard, you can hear the players on the bench yell, "That'll go, Sean, that'll go, Sean." They're really up for this game, the Canadians. They're really behind their players. Pumped up right to the final whistle in this period. Just a few seconds remaining. Yzerman trying to get it back. It's still kept in. A time for a shot. Tuckett now. Flipping it in the corner. Just a couple of seconds remaining. The buzzer goes now to end the second period. And for the most part, it really was all Canada.
Well, I think the Germans are in a little trouble here as the Canadians are starting to really loosen up. They look loose, they look relaxed. They're really taking control of this game. The forwards are really putting a lot of pressure on the German defense. They don't know where to go and what to do. Duraf has held them in there for quite a bit of this. But the Germans are going to have to find a way of getting that puck out of their zone.
Well, the only goal in that period coming from number 16, Craven, to make it 5-1. The goal scorers so far, Yzerman, Adams, Tuckett again, and as I said, Craven. Steiger replying for West Germany in the first period. The score 5-1. Join us in a moment. We'll have more action. The third period coming up. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the third and final period here in Switzerland. The World Ice Hockey Championships are underway. The Group A tournament, Canada against West Germany. The West Germans stepping out onto the ice to a great round of applause. They have a lot of supporters here in this capacity crowd. 5-1 the score. The Canadians will be playing from left to right, and the Canadians have looked strong throughout.
Well, they certainly have. The Germans are a gutsy, determined hockey team out there, but they've been outclassed so far. The Canadians with a lot of playmakers, a lot of guys that really work hard. They're putting a lot of pressure on that German team.
Craven, Yzerman, and Tuckett has been the line that has done most of the damage. Canada now in possession. Tuckett, Yzerman, little back pass to Tuckett, trying to get it over, intercepted by Dieter Hagen. Niederberger flips that around to the far side. Trunchka wants it, and he gets it. Trunchka on the right wing. Trunchka flips that right in front. Niederberger was right there, couldn't get a handle on it, and of course he takes out the net.
Well, Trunchka goes over to say, well, we almost had that one. He was trying to lead Niederberger, who had Lidster coming on him really hard. Got a little bit of him. McLean had gotten a piece of the puck to keep that out. Niederberger went into the net.
Lidster staying right with his man right to the end. We'll have the face-off in the neutral zone. The West Germans with Schmidt flipping it to the far side. Harold Burke backhands a lazy one into the corner. Michel Petit flips that one, and eventually it goes out into the neutral zone. Pushed all the way back in. Petit going back for it. Canada with a 4-goal lead here in the third period. We'll look to build on that, and the West Germans will look to bring themselves back into the game. The Canadians now, and a good move there as Recchi was moving in on goal. Coming back by Holtzman now, coming back over the blue line. Eventually had that moved off his stick. Pokorny O'Corney again, not a particularly brilliant pass from him, and he'll get it for a third time. Now the West Germans with Trunchka moving forward, taken out at the blue line. Acton along the boards. Chris Trunchka trying to get the pass over to Brittig. That went off a stick. Some good defensive play here by Canada. Trunchka. Green came up with the save there for Canada, getting a stick on the play. Acton flipping that one in. Going after it is Sutter. All the way back to the blue line. No one there to pick it up. Green punches that one to the far side. The Canadians bring themselves back on side and push it back into the West German territory. Brittig backhands that one to, well, no one in particular. Chris has problems with it. Right in front. The shot coming from Schomburg. The save coming from DeRaff. A long shot from Willman steered away, and both teams having their share of the action. Canada, Coffey, good to see him back in the play. He went down heavily in the second period, shaken but not stirred.
No, he seems to be all right out there as he takes the shot here. Good play by the defense to get a piece of that. Udo Kiesling with a lot of experience from Cologne, managing to get his body in front of that and help DeRaff out a little.
Niederberger being shadowed by Tocchet. Crashes that one off the woodwork as far as the blue line. West Germany now working in nicely was Thomas Brandl. Offside whistle blows. The West German supporters did not agree with that call.
Well, it was one of those plays where there were defensemen and forwards coming back. Number 22, keep your eye on him on the left of your screen. He's forced off sides. That's what the crowd had to say about. As Thomas Brandt had some nice moves and he was working a one-on-one against Coffey, but to no avail. It was already called offsides.
Good defensive play there. When you got a man on the blue line, push him offside. Why not? There's nothing that says you can't do that.
Oh, that's right. Lubzig was trying to stay onside, but he was helped.
Leschetschen wants that. It's pushed all the way past Tocchet, all the way down the ice. Schmidt goes back for it. Icing is the call. Well, it'll be interesting to see, Richard, how the Canadian, and when we see them, the American, Czechoslovakian, Swedish, Finnish, and Russian teams change when the players come over from the NHL. This will not be the same team that Canada has out on the ice in, say, 10 days' time.
No, that's very true, but there's going to be other teams benefiting as well from this NHL playoff setup. The Russians are hoping to gain from it. The Swedes probably will. The Americans definitely will. So there's a lot of talent that's still on its way over.
It's a pity that the NHL playoffs have to come up against the World Championships, but that's the way it is right now as Michel Petit picks it up. He's got Cullen. Petit, a long pass. Adams going after it. He'll get there first. Backhands that one off the back of the net. Some good defensive move there as Recchi was calling for it. Trunchka always goes deep. Good little two-way player, Gerd Trunchka. Flipping that one over the wing. That's not a good way to finish off a play, though. DeRaff had no choice but to hang on to that. Greg Adams was there knocking on the door. So we'll have a face-off in West German territory. Coming up to the 4-minute mark, there's the score line. Canada doing most of the damage in the first period. Dave King pleased with the performance so far. It's a long way to go, a long tournament. You'll be watching the best in the world here on Eurosport. The shot coming in, takes a deflection. And back comes Niederberger. Niederberger stops. Niederberger looking for Trunchka. Trunchka can't get onto that one. Pushed away by Coffey. Shadowed by Dieter Hagen. Hagen gets the loose puck. And eventually Coffey comes up with it and gives it away. Canada now. Sean Burr waiting for his teammates to get up front. Canada happy with this 4-goal lead to throw it around. That goes all the way down the ice. De Raff. Well, there weren't too many West German players who wanted that puck. Kept in, right in front of the net, the backhand shot. Trunchka can't hang on to it. Canada still have it. Goes back all the way to Doug Lister, and it isn't kept in. Keith Acton now flips it back up to Lidster. Over to the far side. Lidster, a rink-wide pass, and Canada golf it all the way in with Tocchet getting the woodwork on it. Holzman pushes that one forward. Tocchet. Michel Petit. Holzman doing a great job of forechecking, never stops skating. Up on the wing to number 4, Lesheshin. And we'll have another face-off. The players on the Canadian bench trying to motivate each other. Also having a bit of a laugh out there. They're enjoying their hockey today, aren't they?
Oh, they certainly are. As a lot of these guys, as we mentioned before, they play against each other all year. They find themselves in Switzerland on the same team together. Well, they're getting to know each other in other ways than they're used to.
Tocchet can't hang on to that one. The Canadians working away, and that shot wide of the target. Hilger, that's right in front. Lesheshin can't get the shot away. It's still Canada. The rink-wide pass going over to Michel Petit. Petit behind the net. Tocchet wants it. West Germany now bunching in that far side, but eventually they come up with it. They really do have to get some shots on goal if they want to score goals. I know that sounds like an obvious thing to say, but they're not getting beyond that Canadian defensive lineup right now as Michel Petit takes out Hilger on the play. The pass right in front to Tocchet. Tocchet now working his way up over the red line. Tocchet over the blue. Leaving it for Yzerman. Oh, a cheeky little move by him. The shot comes off the Raff. He was right there, made the save. Tocchet was moving in front. Burr takes his man out of the play. Lidster has problems, circles and gets it right across into the neutral zone.
Well, a quick look at Steve Yzerman as he goes over to the bench for a change. He is so dangerous out there. You can't say enough about him.
Without a doubt, one of the top 3 or 4 players in the National Hockey League.
Oh, he most certainly is. There's a look at Unson, who's trying to get that team motivated.
You got to look at Gretzky, and then Lemieux, and then Messier, and then Yzerman. They're all up there. West Germany. Pokorny trying to get by the figure of Sean Burr. He comes off second best in Canada. Adams coming in on the wrong side. Taken out nicely by Hal Chris. Squeezed back in by Cullen. Adams loses control of that. Too long on the puck there for Draisaitl. Pokorny flips it around to the far side. West Germany, the long shot right on the target. Trunchka getting a stick to that. Burr. Sean Burr for Canada. Working it up. Runs into Trunchka. Pokorny bounces that off the boards into the neutral zone. Coffey for Canada, looking for the long pass. Icing the call.
Well, both teams are trying to change there, and Coffey tried to feed the pass through, but was a little bit ahead of the forward. He was a bit tired. Both teams have a chance now to get fresh legs out there. Five won the score here in the third and final period.
Canada in the lead. So the face-off to the left of Kirk McLean as he looks down the ice. Brandel.
Let's go, Ronnie, baby.
Sutter. Well, I don't know if you heard that, but it wasn't the most sportsmanlike things to say. He said, ram your stick down his throat. I'm sure he was only joking. The Canadians getting a bit physical out there, but the Germans with Niederberger taking the shot. It's right in front of the net. The net is wide open. McLean is out of his cage. The puck is loose and Canada comes up with it. And again, they missed a golden opportunity as Sutter comes back. Sutter for Canada. Acton loses control. Lupzig without the helmet loses that one. Both teams are changing on the fly.
Well, they're both changing quickly as this game goes on. Lupzig with a great chance at the other end. I don't know how that one managed to stay out of the net, but the play goes on.
Michel Petit, the long shot. Giraffe had to be there. Petit can't keep that one in. And the pace starting to pick up as Dieter Hagen now. Dieter Hagen trying to do it on his own. Eventually brings Trunchkin. That's right in front. McLean keeps it going. Headmans it up. Iserman runs out of places to go at the blue line. Trunchka is brought down. It's going to be a penalty against Canada. The goaltender is off. As soon as Canada touch this, the whistle will blow. There goes the whistle. So the Canadians for 2 minutes will have a man in the box.
Well, Trunchka with a nice move just inside his own blue line. He was pulled down with a hook. The Canadians will be shorthanded here for 2 minutes. The play is really wide open out here now as both teams are going offense. Smile on Murray Craven's face as he's the one that was hit with the hooking call.
So a chance for West Germany to show their stuff here in the third period. They're running out of time. Trunchka, Dieter Hagen, Udo Kiesling. Dieter Hagen, Green, all the boys yelling, heads up, makes a clever little move. So calm, so cool. You can see he knows his way around an ice rink. Sutter runs into a check but hangs on to the puck. Trunchka goes after him, kicks it along the boards. Acton comes in to help out. Niederberger for West Germany. They've got to move, and they've got to move now. Hagen gets it back. Dieter Hagen to Trunchka. Trunchka flips it in and goes after it. Lidster takes him out of the play. Green shoots that one, and it hits a Canadian. We have another injured player on the ice. Acton is the man down. Looking in pain, Richard.
Oh, he's in quite a bit of pain out there, as you can see him just keeping his head tucked in a little. He looks winded, but he's in some pain somewhere, wherever he got hit with that one. There you see Rick Green trying to ice the puck out. Shoots it, and it goes directly into Keith Acton.
So the Canadians here having a go at themselves, what with Coffey being injured as a result of a collision against Cullen, and now Acton getting that shot there from Green.
Well, two unfortunate little accidents here. But I'm sure Keith Acton will be all right. He's trying to catch his wind. He probably got that somewhere in the chest or the stomach. And he's a very well-traveled player who's tough, and I'm sure he's going to be back on his feet in a second here. He's been on quite a few NHL teams. He's got a lot of experience. He's 32 years old. He's been around the league.
Well, he's got a bit of a smile on his face, or is that a grimace? One more time here on the slow-mo. The shot from Green. Oh, right in the midriff.
Whether it's in the hotel or somewhere, he's going to get Rick Green back for that one. I'm sure they'll have some words about that. It'll be friendly, of course, but Acton definitely feels he owes Rick one now.
He's probably going to tell him to sleep with one eye open. He says, I got your number, Green. I'm sure we'll see more of him. The Canadians with the man down, and that shot coming right on the money from Heimer. Acton working his way to the dressing room. Holtzman loses the draw. The Canadians come up with it. Flipping that one along the boards. Canada with a lot of time to punch it up to the West German defense. A man in the box for Canada. Left right there. A mistake by Heimer. Some sloppy play, and the Canadians take advantage of it to shoot it all the way down. Killing off this penalty. Good defensive work. Holtzman left there nicely as the West Germans get into the zone. The long shot coming from Schmidt. McLean made it look so easy. Petit, as we come up to 11:08 with 8 seconds remaining on the penalty. Not a lot of action coming from the West Germans on this power play effort.
The Germans not making much of this power play. And now the team are both at 5 aside.
Craven head-manning the puck to Curtis Sheshin. Adams, well, that was nice. He could have taken the goalie out. Sean Burr getting that right in front, and the goaltender grabbed it. I think a lot of players may have taken the goaltender out with his back to them there. He just skated by him. Good sporting effort. The Canadians now back on the attack with the face-off deep in West Germany's territory.
Well, you can still hear the drum beating, but this crowd has had a lot of wind taken out of their sails with Canada being up 5-1 over the Germans here. There's a lot of German support in this crowd.
The shot coming from Lesheshin hits a skate. Lobbed all the way back to Petit. The Canadians running into each other. Cullen, oh, a great move. Cullen takes a shot, the rebound, and Adams just couldn't get it. DeRaff came up with a nice little save. Flipped over the plexi, so we'll have a face-off there, and a good effort there by Cullen.
Well, DeRaff did well to keep that one out, as John Cullen's had a nice game. He's a hard worker, and he put a couple of nice moves on the defense there.
.25-year-old Cullen joined Pittsburgh for the 88-89 season. .12-10 in the third period, 5-1 to score. The long shot crashes off the backboards. The Canadians a bit lax there, right in front. Tried to be picked up by Brandel, just didn't come off. Again, Brandel now calling for that shot. Took a bit of a deflection coming from Lipsig. Should have made more from that. Brandel, West German side, throwing it around nicely until they get to the blue line, and they seem to run out of steam. Let's see what they can do. Brandel stopped right at the blue line. Push forward Canada now. Get it as far as the West German blue line. Lipsig. Willman. Flipped all the way in as both teams change on the fly. McLean finds himself way out in no man's land. Had a bit of a stumble, but brought himself back in as Coffey circles. Teams changing on the fly. Adams. Tocchet has Yzerman in front. Udo Kiesling lets that one go. Adams comes up with the loose puck, getting it back. Michel Petit takes the shot. That takes a deflection, and we have a whistle on the play. 5-1 still the score here in the third and final period. Canadians well and truly in the lead over West Germany. The West German coach looking concerned.
Well, it could be good for Duraff, though. This first game being such a workout for him, it might have him well tuned up for the rest of this playoffs.
Trunchka to Steiger. The shot, and a good save by McLean. Got the pad out there, got the foot on it. McLean has been so solid. West Germany now with Dieter Hagen, poke check nicely. Canada with 3 men going forward. Tocchet, Adams now on the attack. Tocchet overskates that, it's ref right in the slot. The shot is going to come. The rebound is there. They try to put it over Duraff. That one wide of the net. Tocchet having a field day out there. A lot of freedom, a lot of movement. Adams wants it. Tocchet with Petit. Tocchet now on the backhand side, flipping it through. A nice little play right in front. Duraff, the rebound. And that bobbles right in front of the open net. Dieter Hagen for West Germany. Backhands that off the woodwork. Trunchka taken out of the play. Yzerman. What can you say about this guy? Incredible stuff. He's playing with them out there.
Well, the crowd liked that one, as he put an unbelievable move on at the blue line while he was waiting for Adams to come out.
Steiger, a rink-wide pass onto the left wing. Hilger taken out of the play. Burke. Some good stuff coming from West Germany, as I said, in their own zone. They throw it around nicely, and then they get taken out just at the blue line or in the neutral zone. Schmidt, the long pass going nowhere. That's going to go all the way down the ice. Coffey touches it. No whistle on the play. They let it go as we approach the 16-minute mark. 5-1 the score. The Canadians throwing the puck around out there, and that one's intercepted by Burke. 4 minutes remaining. Canadians now. Cullen trying to get it right in front. He does the shot. Coming from Ron Sutter. Pushed away, and now West Germany on the attack. The West Germans with 2 men up. That took a bit of a deflection off Coffey, coming from Holtzman. Still West Germany in control. Brittig trying to do something with it. Trunchka, a nice little pass, and Brittig has it bobble over his stick. Lidster squeezed out of the play. Trunchka's got it, gets it right in front, and Christian Brittig really couldn't put it in the net. Intercepted there nicely by Draisaitl, and back comes West Germany. Green for Canada. The Canadians, with this 4-goal lead here in the third period, will be happy just to fire that in and run down this clock.
Well, you can see the Canadians are in control here. They're just dumping the puck in, keeping fresh legs out there, applying the pressure.
Draisaitl poke checked at the blue line. Going after him is Trunchka. Trunchka couldn't do anything with it. Draisaitl wants it back, and he gets it. The pass coming over to the far side to Leipzig was always going to be behind him. Coming in now, Draisaitl takes a shot. The rebound is right out front. It's still loose. Number 22, Leipzig, was there. And they're starting to square off. Leipzig going up against Lidster, who plays for Vancouver. And I'm sure Lidster has seen all that before. Not a good time to get a penalty, but they do have a 4-goal cushion.
Well, there was going to be a penalty called here. As you can see the referee's arm in the air. It looks like Yzerman for a hook at this point. Willman's in there. Lupzig's in there. The puck is loose. Lidster comes in, and Lupzig doesn't like the way he took him out. A couple shots are thrown. Lupzig's helmet comes off. Nothing much after that. There you see the Canadian player in the penalty box. It's Stevie Yzerman. He's the one that had the original call, 2 minutes for hooking. And that's how the referee is going to leave it.
Trunchka, Niederberger, all the big guns. Dieter Hagen on the point. Dieter Hagen winds up, takes a shot wide of the target. He had a lot of time there to do better than that. Trunchka for West Germany. Time ticking away here. They got to score now. They got to put the puck in the back of the net to bring themselves back into this game. They trail by 4. 5-1 is the score. Canada setting up that box. They don't mind if West Germany pass this puck around for the next 2 or 3 minutes. Petit lets his man go in the corner and come out again. The shot handled nicely by McLean, and eventually Sutter gets a whack at it and golfs it down the ice.
That's a heads-up play by McLean to keep that puck in the action. He dropped it and let his player ice the puck instead of taking a whistle.
Trunchka head-manning the puck as we go into the last minute and a half. Niederberger couldn't do anything with it. Dieter Hagen. Still, it's West Germany with the power play. Right in front. Stolen by Canada and shot down the ice. Niederberger will go back for it. Time ticking away as Trunchka gives it back to Niederberger. He's got to keep skating. So often they've stopped skating as Burke picks it up now. Burke waiting for his team to get back on side. Burke with Niederberger. Oh, nice little move by him. Lidster takes him out of the play. Green comes to the rescue and squeezes him out. Burke loses the puck and it's shot down. Acton chasing. The Raff gives it to Burke and it's flipped to the far side. Shot all the way in to McLean. Left for Lidster. And Lidster shoots that one all the way back down the ice. Schmidt for West Germany, leaving it. Just a few seconds now remaining. 5-1 the score is Burke has a touch and Yzerman gets back on the ice. The Canadians back at full strength, and that's the offside call here on the play. And this is all over but the shouting. King looking happy. If anyone can look happy when they're coaching in this kind of tournament. A lot of pressure, a lot of concentration involved.
Well, there certainly is, and he's got a team that's been thrown together here from a mixture of other teams. He's got to be pleased with their performance in this opening game.
The Canadians pushing it in. Just a few seconds now remaining. There goes the buzzer to end the third and final period. A 5-1 victory for Canada over West Germany.
Well, it could be good for the Germans to get this one out of their way as well. This can help them settle down and play hockey in the rest of this tournament.
Well, you can see the Canadian supporters with their sparklers and their flags. They're happy with their performance, with their team's performance. They scored 5 goals. Yzerman, Adams, Tocchet, and Craven. Steiger was the only one who could put the puck in the net for West Germany. An excellent performance from Canada. West Germany are going to have to work harder. A long way to go for them. Well, let's take a look at the results. Canada, we just saw 5-1 over West Germany. The Soviets trouncing Norway And coming up later, Czechoslovakia against USA and the Swedes against the Finns. That's going to be a good one. The old rivalry continues. Well, it's early days, but the league tables have the Soviet Union out front with 2 points on a goal difference. The Canadians in second, and everybody else, well, yet to play. The West Germans and the Norwegians suffering the first defeats of the tournament. Lots of ice hockey coming up as we look at Steve Yzerman picking up his award for the game. Tuesday, Czechoslovakia against USA. That's going to be a big one. The Americans are going to be tough. The Czechoslovakians have a young side. Keep your eye on them. Well, lots of ice hockey to come here on Eurosport. So join us tomorrow. Until then, from Richard Beaupre and myself, Paul Ferguson, bye for now. Keep watching Eurosport.